Mao Zedong (1893–1976) was a Chinese communist revolutionary and politician who was the founding father of the People's Republic of China. Mao was born in the village of Shaoshan, Hunan Province, China, on December 26, 1893, to a peasant family. His father, Mao Yichang, was a farmer who owned a small piece of land and worked as a part-time grain dealer. Mao's mother, Wen Qimei, was a devout Buddhist who encouraged her son to pursue education. Mao attended school in his hometown until the age of 13, after which he worked on his family's farm. In 1911, he left home to attend secondary school in Changsha, the capital of Hunan Province. Mao became interested in politics during his time in Changsha and joined the Revolutionary Alliance, a group that aimed to overthrow the ruling Qing dynasty and establish a democratic government in China. In 1919, Mao became involved in the May 4th movement, a student-led protest against the Treaty of Versailles, which had granted Japan control of former German concessions in China. Mao became convinced that China could only achieve independence and modernization through a revolution led by the working class. In 1921, Mao attended the founding Congress of the Chinese Communist Party (CCP) in Shanghai. Mao was one of the 33 delegates present and played an active role in the Congress, contributing to the drafting of the party's constitution and serving as a member of its Central Committee. In the early years of the CCP, Mao was a marginal figure, and his ideas were often at odds with those of the party's leadership. In 1927, Mao led an armed uprising in his home province of Hunan, which was quickly crushed by the Kuomintang KMT, the ruling party of China at the time. Mao fled to the mountains of Jiangxi province, where he established a base for the CCP's guerrilla forces. During the 1930s, Mao's ideas on guerrilla warfare and rural revolution gained prominence within the CCP. In 1934, he led the Long March, a grueling retreat of the CCP's forces from Jiangxi to Shaanxi province, over a distance of more than 6,000 miles. The Long March established Mao's leadership within the CCP and elevated him to the position of chairman. In 1949, Mao led the CCP to victory in the Chinese Civil War, and the People's Republic of China was established. Mao became the country's first chairman, and he quickly set about implementing his vision of a socialist society. Mao's early policies, such as the land reforms and the collectivization of agriculture, were popular with the rural population, and Mao was widely regarded as a hero. However, Mao's policies soon came under criticism from within the CCP, particularly during the Great Leap Forward of 1958 to 1962. Mao's plan to rapidly industrialize China through a program of backyard steel furnaces and communal agriculture resulted in a massive famine that is estimated to have caused the deaths of tens of millions of people. In 1966, Mao launched the Cultural Revolution, a campaign aimed at purging the CCP of revisionist elements and promoting Maoist ideology. The Cultural Revolution resulted in widespread violence and chaos, as Red Guard groups attacked intellectuals, party officials, and anyone deemed to be a counter-revolutionary. The Cultural Revolution lasted for a decade, and it is estimated to have resulted in the deaths of between 1 and 2 million people. Mao's health declined in the 1970s, and he stepped down as chairman of the CCP in 1976. Mao's health had been deteriorating for several years, and he was increasingly isolated from the rest of the CCP leadership. On September 9, 1976, Mao died at the age of 82. His death marked the end of an era in Chinese history, and it was followed by a power struggle within the CCP that eventually led to the rise of Deng Xiaoping and the introduction of economic reforms that transformed China's economy. Despite the massive human toll of Mao's policies, he remains a controversial figure in China and around the world. Mao is still revered by many Chinese people as a founding father of the People's Republic and a symbol of Chinese nationalism. However, his legacy is also deeply contested, with many people condemning him for the suffering and violence that occurred during his rule. Mao's political philosophy, known as Maoism, emphasizes the importance of mass mobilization and the need for a revolutionary vanguard to lead the struggle for socialism. Mao believed that the peasantry, rather than the urban working class, was the key revolutionary force in China, and he advocated for a form of communism that emphasized self-reliance and self-sufficiency. Mao's legacy is also tied to his cult of personality, which was cultivated during his rule and continued after his death. Mao's image and words were ubiquitous in China during his lifetime, and his image remains a potent symbol of Chinese communism and nationalism. However, His cult of personality also contributed to the excesses of the Cultural Revolution, as Mao's followers sought to enforce his vision of socialism through violence and terror. In conclusion, Mao Zedong was a complex figure whose legacy continues to shape China and the world. He was a revolutionary leader who played a key role in the founding of the People's Republic of China. But his policies also resulted in massive human suffering and violence. Mao's ideas on communism and mass mobilization continue to inspire leftist movements around the world, but his legacy is also a reminder of the dangers of unchecked authoritarianism and the cult of personality.